I learned that my sister's kids planned to break something in my house every year, and they left my dog in my garage almost dying, so I kicked them all out in the middle of the night. I moved to the US 3 years ago with my husband after getting our green cards approved. We moved to Central Florida, notorious for all its tourist attractions. Since we moved, my sister and her family, including her husband, nephew, and niece, have visited annually around this time. We love to host and even bought a house to accommodate family and friends visiting. The issue started on the third day of their visit. I left the night before for a night shift at the hospital, and my husband had a very early one. When I got home at 1 p.m., I found my puppy, who was 9 months old, locked in the garage. He doesn't have access to that area because there is no AC there. This is Florida in the summer, and I am afraid he will run away when the door opens. It was pure luck that he was lying close to the entry door, or I could have run him over before I saw him. He was lethargic and breathing heavily, so I immediately took him to the vet. He was overheated and dehydrated, and he could have passed if I hadn't gotten there when I did. I finally returned home at about 7 p.m. When I entered, I instantly saw my favorite vase. I got it from my late grandma. Wasn't on the center table. I opened the trash only to find it there, in pieces. I was already fuming about my puppy. I pulled up the images from the house cameras I had recently installed because of the dog. In the images, the kids said goodbye to my husband and their parents, and when they left, they discussed whose turn it was to break something. My nephew argued that he had done it last year, so it was my niece's turn. My niece then proceeded to throw one grass on the floor. At this point, my puppy got fussy and started barking. They got annoyed, so they took him to the garage before returning, picking up my vase and smashing it on the floor. When their parents returned, they simply said they had an accident. My sister cleaned it up, and they went to the parks. My blood boiled. I immediately packed their bags and put them by the door. My husband arrived and helped out. As soon as they arrived, I told them how their kids behaved, that they caused harm to my dog and broke something irreplaceable to me. My sister tried to argue that it was an accident and that they were just kids, and I shoved the video into her face. She still tried to argue, saying we were family and she didn't have money to pay for a hotel for the rest of the trip, which was the middle of the night. I simply stated I didn't care, and she had to take her little monsters from me. She left screaming and then crying. This morning, I woke up to several messages in the family group calling me names for kicking them out in a different country and saying I was being mean. My mom wrote about how disappointed she was with me. I didn't have the energy to reply yet, but I don't care.